Although I've been very careful in my life never to label myself as depressed, looking back, that is what it was. So through this story, I will show you a way that has worked for me in overcoming mild depression. And now that I had this new model of happiness, I decided I was going to make those things the priority of my life. And so began the search. It was at this time that I stepped into a new persona. Now, I had become a seeker of new experiences in which I could learn and grow. But at this time, I still didn't know how I was going to learn and experience new things. After the skydive, I was still at the factory, working 50 to 60 hours a week. With no end in sight and nothing new on the horizon. I still felt stagnant and depressed. But this new type of energy was beginning to awaken within me. I felt it. Very much like a fire that had just been started and was looking for more fuel to burn. So I did what was accessible to me at the time. One very fortunate thing was that at the factory I could listen to headphones all day long. So I used this as a golden opportunity to learn new things. I began listening to all sorts of spiritual books on CD. Do you remember those things? They were thin, brittle, and came scratched from the factory. Then there was this new thing came out that you could store hundreds of CDs worth of books and seminars on. It's called the iTouch. So with this new iTouch, I began listening to books and podcasts on everything from spirituality and yogic philosophy to adventure and world travel. All topics of which I had limited experience up to that point in my life. But the fire needed more. I soon found myself seeking the guidance of a wise man that had known me since I was born. We call him Skip. Skip is one of those rare beings whose very presence is so magnificent that it wraps you in comfort and warmth. And at that moment, you know that you are loved and that everything is all right. Skip saw the fire within me, and he knew exactly how to fan the flames. When I asked him, "Skip, what should I do with my life?" You must fuel this new fire within you by following your heart. Go and experience everything life has to offer. And so, taking the advice of a man I consider to be a saint, I added more fuel to the fire. Skip's advice was, essentially, to get out of your current routine. Literally, get in the car and go places. Soon, I began taking extended weekend trips to places nearby. See, my cousin Nick, he worked right next to me at the factory. So we took a trip to Chicago to explore the city. So me and Nick took a long weekend from work and went to Chicago. Man, it felt fantastic. Being in a big city and exploring new things, museums, restaurants, the train ride there and back, man, it was awesome. Then I took a few backpacking trips to the state forests that were within driving distance. There was a winter excursion with my friend Janos. It was so cold during that trip that all the water was frozen. We had to melt snow for drinking water. One of the nights during that trip, it got down to -18 degrees Fahrenheit. negative 18. Yet we loved every second of it, and I was beginning to feel more and more alive. Yes, the fire was beginning to grow. It needed more fuel. Then I did a 10-day solo backpacking trip to Isle Royale National Park. It's an island in the middle of Lake Superior. It's where I heard packs of wolves howling in the night for the first time ever. It's where I did my first 48-hour water fast the last 2 days of the trip. Not by choice either, but because I didn't pack enough food to last me. And it's where I jumped into Lake Superior in July and got the wind knocked out of me by the unimaginable shock of how cold that water was. Yes, the fire was beginning to burn away the fog of depression that had settled into my life, and I was beginning to understand the power of movement. You see, up until this point, I always thought I could think my way out of depression and negativity. That somehow, once I acquired enough thoughts and concepts, that I would simply choose and know how to be happy. But now I was coming to the realization that words and thoughts and concepts are helpful to a point, but that a real progress is made by movement. Real, physical movement. Get out into the fresh air. Do something strenuous and get the lifeblood flowing. See something new. Do something that scares you. It doesn't matter so much what exactly you do, so long as you are doing something. Remember, when the body moves, the brain grooves. Join me next time.